you had people essentially telling you what to do. They told you where to be. They told you how you was going to eat. They told you, hey, put on this uniform, be here, stand this way, do this, right? And I grew up an only child. I'm not an only child, but I grew up an only child. And because of that, my hesitance in getting in the military in the first place is I thought I would have a problem with authority. And come to find out, I really didn't. Actually, like when it comes to following, directions and rules and stuff like that, I had no problem with that. Shockingly enough, even as much as I thought, like, hey, I don't want to listen to somebody telling me what to do and this, that, and the third. Shockingly enough, when I got there and I was giving orders to do something, I did it. Now, why did I do that stuff? Well, I made the choice. I had the choice to join. Nobody, like had my hand behind my back, my arm behind my back when I went to go sign up, right? I didn't have nobody, like put a, to my head and tell me, hey, you got to sign up for this. I made that choice. So now that I've made that choice, I got to live with that choice. So part of that choice is following orders. Listen, you don't have to know much about the military, but most people know enough about the military is that you're going to be following orders from somebody else. Okay? I mean, even if you've only seen the military through movies and that's the only exposure you've had, you know that in that movie, somebody is following somebody else's order. Can we all agree on that? Why do we follow orders in the military? We follow orders in the military for a number of reasons. Now, one of the things, see, this is my brother right here. Shout out to my brother Cuddy. What's that, Cuddy? Good seeing you, baby. I'm glad you made it through. So, hey, Cuddy, man, if you ever want to come up, let me know, man. I'll send you a link. That way you can come up on the show for a minute. Let me know. So the thing about it is, like, we follow orders in the military because we know that we say or it's said to be for good order and discipline. Good order and discipline. See, what that means is in the military, following orders, everyone following what they're supposed to do, is going to keep things from being unruly. It's going to keep things organized. It's going to keep things running smoothly. These are all the things that we know. This is the reason why we follow orders in the military. The other part, another reason why we follow orders in the military is because by following those orders, we are essentially listening to someone who did it before us. Somebody that came before us followed someone else's orders, and they made their way up the ranks. They did the time to get to the position to be able to tell you what to do. You with your nose wet, right? Breath smelling like Similac without her. You don't know what you're doing. That person been there. That person done that. So we listen and we follow those orders. And another reason we follow orders is because in the military, the things that we do, the things that we're exposed to could put us in danger. There are times where following the orders is a life or death situation. So by not listening and following the orders, not only could you put your own life at risk, you could put the lives of other people at risk. Now, why am I telling you this? Because we have a society full of people, and I'm not even just going to put this on women, We have a society of people that can't follow basic orders and instructions. That can't take the time to learn the things that they need to know, so they're not walking around here ignorant. This is the kind of society that we live in now, where ignorance is accepted. Ignorance is the thing that is more popular, right? I mean, listen, if it wasn't for some of you, if it wasn't for you gents watching some of these videos, like, I got a lot of congrats down in the comments of the one video where I was talking about the impact that single motherhood is having on men. And so many of you guys reached out, and in the comments you said, wow, man, this is a really important topic. This is stuff that we need to be talking about, etc., etc. Okay? This is what y'all said. But here's the thing. Most people don't want to hear that shit. Most people don't want to talk about that stuff. Get into the stuff that we need to get into. Because they don't want, they want to talk about the sexy topics, the funny, the fun, whatever, and not the things that we need to, so that we can see better change and improvement. So I thought about the military in terms of people not listening, how we follow orders. Now, there was this one particular story that I'm going to tell y'all with me, where I remember that there was something that we were supposed to do. And people were messing it up. And people were messing it up so bad. The RDC, the Recruit Division Commander, told us all to drop. And you don't know what drop mean? That mean, we on the ground, in the heat, doing push-ups, right? We are doing push-ups. And we was doing a lot of push-ups for dumbass shit. Dudes can't fold their skivvies, they draws, they can't put their stuff where they belong. People sneaking food from the cafeteria or from the mess hall, sorry. I said child, mess. See, I've been out for a while. They sneak stuff from the mess hall into the barracks. They eating food in the barracks when we ain't supposed to be bringing food back. It is always the ones that ain't supposed to be doing it. So I remember getting in trouble for that shit. And one of the things that the Recruit Division commanders were trying to teach us about how to make this stop. Yeah, they can beat us all day long. Drop. But the other part that they wanted us to learn is for us to start putting peer pressure on each other. Okay? They wanted us to pressure each other into getting people to conform. And not only even putting in the pressure, but also correct them, show them. Put the peer pressure on and say, this is how you do it, bro. Why you keep messing it up? Why can't you get right? Why can't you get right? And they would leave that, they would allow us to put that pressure onto other people so that they can get in line. Which brings us to tonight's topic. One of the clips that I'm going to show you here tonight is a Black woman talking about bringing shame back. Should we bring back shame? Now, I think we kind of talked about this once before, but I actually have the clip that I couldn't find before. So tonight's not going to be a very long live stream. I'm sorry about that. I got more videos to make, right? I told y'all this week is a very special week. Knock on something, right? Right? This is the week that I get a couple more grades. You know what I mean? Right? So I'm a little bit busy right now. There's a lot of stuff I got to get done. But I think tonight's topic is important. Can be entertaining. But the one thing is, should there be some level of pressure? Is this woman going to be right? Should we bring back shame? Hell, me and P last week, we did, what did we do? A lot of people didn't stick around for it. I get it. It was a long live stream. but we did the roast section. We were just having fun. Should we bring back that shame? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Hey, I want to say thank you to all the gents right now. Shout out to the gents. I can't do this without you. But before I go ahead and shout out the gents, I want to shout out a special shout out to my members. Thank you very much. Right? These are all my members right here. I'm sorry I didn't get this. This will now be at the end of my videos because, or the beginning or the middle, I don't know. But the point is, I want to shout out my members. For the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can become a member of this channel. When I put out videos earlier, you'll get first access. Also, you'll get exclusive videos that I won't show that other people won't get to see. And I promise y'all more of those are coming. So please bear with me. All right. And then again, also too, when I start doing special event stuff and I start recording that stuff, you guys will get to see those exclusive access videos. Okay. So it is spring, almost summer here in Vegas. And I was thinking about going to a pool party. And so, actually, you know what? They don't let you bring the GoPros in there no more. So I'll tell you what, I might just take some camera footage. And then if I do that, I'll get that out to the members. Again, for the price of a cup of coffee, you can support the channel. I appreciate that. Let's get to the shout out store and see who we got in the house. Oh, first of all, let me shout out to my brother. Cuddy, why you doing this to me, brother? Why you doing this to me like that? Let me see if I can I'm gonna copy this. Let me see if I can bro, I don't know if you got time, but if you do, if you got time, what the heck? All right, let's try this. Sorry about this, y'all. I'm trying to do something real quick. Since my brother want to be there we go. There we go. All right, bro, I sent you a link to the live stream, bro. If you can make it, you can make it. If you don't, you don't. But my brother just gave me basically a $4 holla. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get you on the banner there, bro. But yeah, tonight, hold on 1 second. I left Lucis up from last week because that $50 was amazing. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. No, you didn't do that. You did not do that, bro. What's going on? Hold on real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Got you on there. Let's get back to the comments. Oh!
What's up, brother?
What's going on with you, man?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just, you know how it is, man. Just working and no twerking.
Definitely. Coming to you live from Orlando, Florida. We're at the Wing House on Kirkland Road. Come out, enjoy some wings, tip the ladies. That's what we do. We go to live stream.
Man. Y'all got the wings and things out there, huh?
All right.
Hey,
wings and things.
Oh, hey. What's going on?
All right.
What's going on, everybody?
All right. See, y'all got to go there to go check them out over there. Make sure you
yes, sir.
Right there.
How many people on here?
You got a lot of people on. So
we just started the live.
All right.
So, anyway,
right.
Yeah, man. So tonight, we talking about shame, brother. Quick question for you then. Do you think we should be bringing some shame back?
Hey, I think we should. I think we should.
Why come?
I think because it's accountability, brother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Accountability. We like accountability in this day and age, right? We're doing things that we come to our mind. And I think that we should also understand that our words and our deeds have actions. It affects a lot of people. So if we're not accountable, then we're just reckless in what we're doing.
Right.
So
Right.
accountability and shame, I mean, not that we're trying to shame anybody, but we need to bring accountability to our actions because our actions affect everybody, not just me, not just anybody. And I feel with social media, we have a lot of keyboard warriors, you know, and we just throw facts out there that are really not facts. And, you know, our words are reckless. You know, case in point, you know, Philip Anthony made a comment out there. You know what I mean? That was way out. I get what he was trying to say, but there's accountability for our actions. So, you know, we need to take accountability for our actions.
So King, shout out to my moderator, King. He said the pressure in Army basic training was blanket parties. And then so I don't know how much of my I don't know how much of my boot camp story you was hearing, but I was talking about accountability there, where we had to, you know, they beat us. Don't get me wrong, but we had to police each other, and that was part of the lesson.
Listen, accountability. So, I actually went into boot camp, Marine Corps, right before 9/11, right. And it was a lot of reckless stuff in the Marine Corps. I'm just gonna put it to you like that, the basic training, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we signed our name on the dotted line to defend this country. Absolutely. Regardless of whether we agreed with everything that was going on in America or not, I was man enough to sign the dotted line to say I would defend this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic, yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. End up having a heart attack. Didn't know I had heart problems. Ended up having a heart attack in the Marine Corps. But I will tell you 100%, if I was able to go back, regardless of America and all its problems, I would go back and defend this country again. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Because we have a duty to this country. Yes, America is not perfect, but we have a right to defend what we think is America. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, regardless of what I thought my drill instructors thought of me as a person, that was separate from me upholding my obligation to this country. Simple and plain. And that's how I put it in perspective.
Yeah. So that's kind of in line with kind of what I was saying about nobody forcing you to go there. You made the choice. And then once you make that choice, you need to stand on what you signed up for. Right? You need to stand up to your obligations and basically be accountable for the fact that you signed it. You did that.
Exactly. Right. Stand on business.
Stand on business. That's what I should have put in the thumbnail. Stand on business.
Stand on business.
But that was kind of my point of starting off because tonight, the clips that we're gonna go through tonight, a lot of them are gonna show, or some of them gonna show that we have a bunch of people that are so self-absorbed, they're so into themselves, they lack that accountability. Now, this first one, I'm gonna start us off with a quick clip.
Girl, call me ugly.
Hold up. I already had the clip up. Hang in there. Let me get it up there. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear this.
Girl, call me ugly. I said, girl, where? She said, under all the makeup. I said,
right. So hold up. Thank you very much, Condemn Man. I'm gonna get back to y'all gents in a little bit, but hold up. Now you saw that, right? The reason I started off with that clip and accountability is because a lot of women, and please tell me your thoughts on this. But a lot of women today put so much stock in their looks, and they think that's all that is. Like, it's almost like that's all that is to them. Now, they might do a few things, get a couple dollars, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying everything comes back to that vanity. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no substance behind the looks, or the there's no character behind the looks.
Right. Right. You're absolutely right. So here's the thing. Newsflash. Modern women, right? It is the obligation of your husband to leave a legacy for generations to come. So if you marry and your husband dies early, it is your job to preserve and maintain the legacy for generations. You don't marry to get rich. You marry to maintain and build a legacy. For by doing so, you secure your own well-being as far as the nature of the family and the children. Modern women are screwed up by ego in the sense that they think they're going to marry somebody to make them rich. That is selfish, because any mother worthwhile knows that is their obligation to raise a person that will contribute to society.
Self-sufficient
self-sufficient, self-supplying, that will maintain what the family has built. If you look at our Jewish brothers and sisters, right? Their goal is not to focus on making you wealthy as far as spending money on foolish things. Their goal is to maintain and focus and build the wealth for generations so that the family line may continue. It's not about a Gucci bag. It's not about Prada. It's not about you getting a BBL. It is about how much wealth can we build in case something happens in the long run where we're not able to go to a job or own a business.
Right. Yep. Hold on, let me catch this super chat real quick. Thank you to the condemned man for the $20 holla. Thank you very much for that. Let's go on and get you up on the banner there. Oops, I messed that up. Let's go on and get the condemned man on there as one of tonight's sponsors. Uh-oh. See, I messed that up. That was the wrong symbol. There we go. All right. There we go. So he says, yes, women need a healthy helping of shame today and tomorrow. Hey, what you thinking about that? Just real quick. I'm going to get to the next video here in a second.
So I want to say to this, I want to be careful because I think that our women do a lot and they're not appreciated. I think that for a lot of our women, not just the African American community, but also other cultures, women do hold down a lot, taking care of the kids, maintaining the household, and also still rendering to the husband his needs. I think there needs to be a level of grace. I'm not talking about those who are ratchet, because those who are ratchet, they're selfish. They're only about themselves and their lifestyle. But if you have a woman who is basically supporting you in your endeavors, in your lifestyle, you out here getting it, like just a simple, I'll say truckers, right?
Sure.
Because a lot of truckers are on the road, like a lot, right? Those
well, hey, I was on submarines.
Right, exactly. So those women desire that their husbands be home, but they know that they're sacrificing support for the family. Women like that should be protected, right? They don't fall into the category of those who are ratchet, those who are trying to take, those who are trying to take money out of households, right? So what I say to those brothers and those people who are in rough relationships, you need to come to a common ground. If your wife, if the meal is ready when you come home, if the clothes are done when you come home, if she's giving you money to launch your trucking business, then those women need to be protected at all costs. It is easy to get deceived by the OnlyFans model who is in your inbox on Instagram telling you anything that you want to hear in order to siphon money out of your household. You need to pay attention. You need to pay attention, and those women need to be protected. If she's supporting you, supporting your business, she's standing by your side, then you need to support that woman, and you need to support your family. Now,
bro, let me cut you off real quick. So I want the gents to get context on why you saying what you saying. How long have you been with your wife?
I have been with my wife going on 14 years.
Okay.
My wife has supported me in many endeavors, whether they worked out or not. My wife has been by my side. There is no ratcheted woman that can come via email, via in a club, via in a bar when I'm trying to relax with my buddy, eating wings at Wing House, whatever. That's going to deter me from what my wife has done for me, right? So I have a ride or die woman that's going to go hard for me 24/7, and that should be protected, right? Now, if your wife or your girlfriend is ratchet and she's selfish, then you need to work that out within your own household, right? But if you got kids involved, if you have any kids involved, then your first priority is for your kids' safety, right? Because what happens with us is, a lot of times is, we want lips, hips, and fingertips, pretty eyes, and nice thighs, right? That's what we want, right? We want the trophy wife that's going to not support us. You knew she was ratchet when you rolled up on her in the club, and then now you mad because she showed her true self, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, you knew she showed them signs in the beginning.
Right. It's right there in front of your face. Right. So you don't have an excuse. You married her. So now you got to deal with the consequences. Or you need to divorce her. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. But if you got a good woman at home, then it's your job to go hard for her each and every day. Just like joining the military, you got to go hard for America. Yeah, she may be unfaithful at times. Yeah, it may be some unjust moments, but at the end of the day, you better be with her rather than going to some other foreign country, because she ain't gonna give it to you like America gonna give it to you, baby. Just simple and plain. You may not like it.
That's a crazy way to put that. I like that. Let's get to the next video. Let's get to the next video. Right. So you saw how, so we talked about how the makeup be deceiving, right? So the reason why I started with that is because, again, a lot of women put so much value into their looks, but it's not even just the ones who quote unquote look good. There's this mindset. Like, all of them got the same mindset, bro. Right? Let me get this video clip up there.
Why do men always cheat on you with Shrek's baby sister? Like, I'm offended.
So,
okay.
That woman has been famous, bro. Let me tell you. Let me give you some context. That woman going there talking about, my man, he needs to make at least $200,000 a year. Like, she been on multiple videos of mine. That's so again, I wanted to show you two types of women. I wanted to show you one that, even with the makeup, I just want to show you somebody, she might look good. She might look good to somebody. I wanted to show you that. Then I wanted to show you the other one. My point being to you, and I'm going to get your opinion real quick. My point being to you and to the gents tonight is that you have two women and both of them got the same mindset.
Okay. let me be honest. Let me be honest. Modern women, if you're listening, your man cheats because you don't have a real connection with your man. Simple and plain.
Oh,
If you had a
oh,
connection, a real connection with your man, he would not cheat on you. End of story. There's
wow.
nothing to further elaborate on. You need to establish connection with your man, your husband. If you fail to do that, then you have failed to understand your man. Men are simple for the most part, but when you talk to your man, there's a set of rules that he's going to tell you that he needs. Now, if you're going to allow your ego, I call it the spirit of Eve, right? Your your
A lot of gents on the channel say that shit in the chat too.
right. It's called the spirit of Eve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You have this thing about you where you want to be worshipped on your own terms. But you got to understand that it's biblical. It says that
Yeah.
your desire shall be for your husband and he shall rule over you. That's been in existence since the dawn of time. You're not going to override that. So you need to come to an understanding with your husband, understand that what his needs are, and you need to satisfy that. Or your boyfriend or your fiance, or whatever you want to call it. Now, there are some men who are just selfish. They're gonna want what they want, and they're not gonna settle down with you either way. But you need to
Yeah,
realize that and move on.
but usually guys like that, there's red flags there too. There's signs there too though.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But women end up not recognizing the signs, and then when their emotions get wrecked, they blame the guy. It's not the guy, it's you. Because the signs were there, you just chose not to see them.
Mm, mm. Well, look, speaking of that, let's get to the next clip then. Because it sounds to me that a person who chooses not to see something is delusional. And check this out.
Indeed.
And just when you thought you were the loneliest person on this earth, a woman surprises herself with a marriage proposal. And the stupidest thing about this whole video, this whole ordeal really is like she's acting surprised about the whole thing. She's like putting on a show. She's like, you know what? I did not know I was gonna do this. Like, that is stupid. Keep in mind, people like this have the right to vote.
yo, that's too funny. So look, I put that in there, right? Because it's like, what are these women doing, bro? Like, I get it. You're trying to prove to everybody what? That you love yourself? Like, why you gotta show the whole I gotta have a big wedding and a marriage to marry myself? What do you think about
Right.
those things that's been going on?
Well, I say to that is this, right? It's more so women are emotional, men are not. Simple and plain. You want the big wedding to show that you got a ring on your finger. But men are not emotional. They are not moved by those things. So a man who really loves you, he will go to the courthouse and marry you rather than a big elaborate wedding. He'll give it to you because that's what you want. But that doesn't mean that you should have those things. He's just simply trying to please you. And that's the weakness that men have to women. Because they say that women think 10 times faster than men. But here's the thing. It is a man's job to take those thoughts, to put them in logical order that the family may be maintained. So it's not that you can think faster than men. It's just that it takes a man to take all those thoughts and put them in order and say, baby, that doesn't make sense. Here's what you need to do. But because a lot of women don't want to be ruled by a man, even though that's the biblical order, they'll choose to not follow those orders instead of maintaining the status quo. I'll put it like that.
Well, there's a thought process or there's a thought that's been out there for a minute. Like, women will listen to their boss. They subjugate themselves to their boss more than they will their own husband.
Exactly. Well, I got a theory on that, right?
Go ahead.
You listen to your boss because listening to your boss will allow you to make a certain income. And a lot of times, because society has said that I'll hire a woman faster than I'll hire a man, then that gives women the financial superiority than most men. So because I'm making more money, that means that I don't have to obey you as the husband of the household, which is not the order, right? So because I make more money than you, I don't have to submit to you. I don't have to listen to you, right? So therefore, because I don't have to listen to you, I don't have to obey you. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And it is ruining American society because, and hear me, women, when I say this is not a put down. Men are designed to rule because we rule without emotions. We're able to make the hard decisions that you won't make because if it's a choice of killing 100,000 people to maintain status quo, we'll make that decision. Whereas you as a woman, you will not make that decision and you will create anarchy.
No, hey, listen, you said something that made me think about something. God dang it, I lost my train of thought. Oh, all right, I forgot, but it was. Oh, I can't think of it. It was something that you said that made me think about something that's been said before. Oh, I hate when that happens. That's what happened when you start to get a little older there, bro.
Hey, I understand. But understand this. Just because you make more money than your husband doesn't mean that you have the ability to rule. Because the ability to rule is not based on emotions.
Yeah. So the thought process I have about that, right, is when you see the interviews on the street and they ask a bunch of men and then they ask their women independently and they ask the women if it's between you and your husband and somebody had to be up out of here, who should go? If every woman says it should be my husband, who should go, right? But when they ask the men are always like, oh, it's me. Oh, no, I died for my wife and my family. You know what I mean? So now look, I'm just a heathen over here, okay? I'm just a trout mouth heathen. But I remember from my work, okay, that no love is greater than a man lay down his life for a friend. Am I wrong about that? Did I hear that wrong, bro?
You're absolutely right about that.
So
but
no
let's
man
put
have
that
love greater than laying down his life
right
for a friend.
Right.
So because we are willing to put the ultimate thing, this gift of life, on the line for the women, the children,
right,
the dog, the household, the city, the country, the state, you know what I mean?
Right.
That is that level of putting that up is the reason why, or basically, if you're not willing to do that, then you're not willing to be the one to be in charge of the thing.
Exactly.
That's the only. That's been my.
And you have to
philosophy.
put this in perspective, right? So you lay down your life for your family, right? Women outnumber men. I don't know the exact ratio, but by a lot, right?
Yeah.
So that means that there has to be another man to step in your place to protect what you've already built.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the numbers that exists now, how many men are willing to do that? And I'm not talking about simps. I'm talking about
No. Just in general.
just in general.
Yeah.
Not
Right
that
now.
not that many.
Right. Because a lot of dudes are like, well, hey, I have nothing to protect. They don't feel
Right.
vested. They don't feel vested in any of the women nowadays.
Okay, let's put it in this perception. In the Lion Kingdom, right? Why does the male lion kill all the last guy's cubs?
Because he don't want them to come back and raise up against him later.
Same thing in the human world, right? Unless a man is ruled by the Spirit of God, he is not going to come in and protect your family that you have built, nor your legacy. He is going to destroy it.
That's crazy. That's crazy when you
That's
put
why.
it
That's why the modern woman needs to wake up. There is no man, unless he is sent by God, to be able to build up your legacy and enfold it into his own to create a greater legacy. He is going to destroy it. Because his ego cannot stand another man's past vision for his vision.
So I want you to keep that in mind, right? Let me catch a couple of these comments real quick. King says those men aren't stepping in to take another man's place. He's there to enjoy your. He's there to enjoy your kitty cat.
Hey, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah. Don't ever trade authenticity for anyone's attention or approval. They also have the right to drive. Lord have mercy. Shout out to you, R Boss. Thank you for being here. We got Nubian Black in the house. Sorry, Preston, I'm not skipping you on purpose. I'm trying to get everybody going. A woman's character is most important. That's right. That's right. And then he also said wholesome women are welcome. Preston says you definitely can't buy happiness, but you can for sure buy the ganja. That's the same thing. And then Nubian says legacy. Let's see who else we got up in here. We got one of our members, Young Hazrat. Great to see you. Obviously, we have Condemned Man who gave us the $20 holla. Thank you again for that, brother. I appreciate that. We got Marcus Cooper. Thank you for being here. He said they don't want to hear that. Talk about earlier. Yep. Shout out to Alpha Time Affirmations. Okay. Don't get Shannon. Oh, talking about Shannon Sharp. And then he also said something to the TSG gents. Yeah, Shannon Sharp. What you think? Real quick, Shannon Sharp, man. He under some pressure. Shout out to the champ too, man. I wanted to make sure I recognize you.
Let me talk about Shannon Sharp for a second, and I'm just going to say, you know what I do for a living.
David Dinkins, thank you for being here. He said, "Not true, sad." All right, go ahead.
I'm going to say this about Shannon Sharp, and this is just my prediction. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't think that's going to go anywhere simply because it was a relationship, right? You exchange whether you view it as a platonic relationship or you exchanging goods and services. They're in a relationship. This man has tons of text messages that alludes to said relationship. Right?
Yeah.
So for you to wait until you get a deal of $100 million and demand $50 million is crazy.
Wait.
Right?
He got $100 million.
This man has text messages. It's $100 million deals in which he's working on, in which she's demanding $50 million of it.
Oh, that's insane.
Not going to happen.
And that's not even his wife.
Also, the attorney that's representing her has a very shady past. Also among the judges in the court system, right? As you know, I work in the legal system. We'll leave it at that. That's not going to fly. He also offered her $10 million upfront to just let it go. She declined. When Shannon Sharp's attorney get hold of everything, she's going to be embarrassed in court because it is alleged, and I'm going to say alleged, that in the text messages, she is asking for sexual things to be performed for her via text that Shannon Sharp obliged. So it is not rape. It is consensual at this point.
Can't use the R word on here.
Right, right. So I'm not going to use the R word, but I want to let anybody know, if you're coming into any type of money and you know that you have multiple sexual partners, then you need to go ahead and get an agreement signed. I hate to say it that way, but if you're entertaining multiple partners via text, this person is admitting to X, Y, and Z, then you need to keep those texts. And you also need to get an agreement signed that, hey, listen, we're having sex because we want to have sex, not because I owe you anything. And you have to protect yourself, because a lot of times, go ahead.
Hold up, real quick. King says, what innocent man offers 10 million?
It has nothing to do with being innocent, right?
I agree.
It has everything to do with reputation. So he's trying to protect his image, but at the same time, you have someone who's repeatedly engaged in sexual activity with somebody in exchange for something, whether it's time, whether it's monetary. And the moment you accept that, then there is no assault or R word or whatever you want to call it, because it's a consensual relationship. The moment you accept a gift, the moment you accept a car, a moment you accept, you're exchanging your body for favors. It has nothing to do with being innocent. It's not the fact of being innocent. And let me tell you folks about something about the court system. It's not what's true, it's what you can prove. Yep. And his attorneys can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were in a consensual relationship.
Yep.
In the story.
That actually brings us into our next video clip. Check this out.
You got to keep me happy because I will cheat. Well.
I'm going to play that again.
You got to keep me happy because I will cheat. Well.
Now, what's crazy is happiness is subjective. So, you see what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. So with a young lady like that, I would have an agreement, right?
Yeah.
Because she's telling to the world that her happiness is based on whether she be faithful or not. So you need to put on a contract, right? You need to put on a contract. Listen, and I'm not like, because you got various viewers online, right? Some have a certain religious aspect, some of them don't, right? And I get it. But if you're going to make it a business agreement, a physical business agreement, then you have a contract. I'm not saying it's right, but you need to protect yourself.
Right. King said that's the hair of a cheater.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, look, we got to get to the video that kind of came up with the title for today's live stream, where this black woman brings up about bringing shame back.
Can we please bring back women with class? Please. Like, we need to bring back shame. There has to be some shame in the game. Women just run around saying anything, doing anything, posting anything because there's no shame in the game. Then y'all just be like, let people do what they want to do. When I was growing up, we couldn't do what we wanted to do. Everybody has say so on what we did. Our moms, our dads, our grannies, our granddads, our aunties, uncles, principals, teachers, neighbors, people walking down the street. It didn't matter. And that is what kept us from acting the way the world acts today. because we was embarrassed to make ourselves look stupid. We was embarrassed to post certain things on social media. We was too embarrassed to walk outside looking any kind of way. We was embarrassed because we didn't want to be shamed. But y'all make everybody think everything is okay and everything is not okay. Can we please get back to class? Please. Morals, morality, respect. I am so tired of the ratchet whore culture. I'm tired.
Yo, thoughts?
Okay, so listen, every
Oh,
generation.
real quick. Into the Deep says shame needs to be done by the women. Preston says a time will come in life when people will regret why they treated you wrong. Trust me, it will definitely come. And then I just wouldn't deal with a chick like that at all. She's from the trouble from the get-go. Talking about the redheaded chick.
Right.
Now, I'm sorry. Now with that in perspective, continue on.
So let's put it in perspective, right? As society progresses, each generation lowers their moral standard, right? So in the 50s, when, in 50s, 60s, 70s, when Chuck Berry came along, they said that music was evil, right? Rock and roll, they said that music was evil, right? Then the hippie movement came, everybody was smoking weed and having orgies. They said that movement was wrong, right? So we're progressively declining as a nation, right? And there must be a moral standard. You just can't go out here and do what you want to do, right? Remember growing up in New Orleans, right? Mardi Gras, the women would lift up their shirts, show their titties, and they say, "Hey, throw me something, mister, for some damn beads." Right?
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We were in high school, right? And we like, well, why they showing their titties for some beads, right? It didn't make sense, right? People in the French Quarter just doing what the hell ever they wanted to do, right? In the middle of the public, right? Right.
Actually, that part did make sense because it was hear me out. It was like
I hear you.
I knew that Bourbon Street. I think we knew inherently that Bourbon Street was the part where you could let loose and all that stuff, but that wasn't the whole of New Orleans. That was just the that area where people did crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
The morals outside of that, man, ain't nobody was People were judging you on that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. But here's the thing, right? Without a moral standard, without a guideline of how you should live, then the world goes to hell, right?
Absolutely.
Just without a rule of law. I'm not saying everybody in law enforcement does everything right, but without rules and guidelines, then society being anarchy. We'll stop somebody from running up in your house and robbing you, right?
Yeah.
Because they know the police is gonna come, or they know you have
rules,
right. Exactly. And it's the same thing with relationships, right? There has to be a leader, and there has to be somebody to stand up and follow the rules set in place. So if a woman wants to lead, then she has to be of the capability to be able to lead. But if you're emotional, then you're not going to be able to lead, because there are a lot of decisions that you have to make in leadership that are not emotional. It is what it is. And that's where men come in. So if you're a woman and you don't want to lead, you don't want to obey a man's leadership, then you need to question why you don't want to. Now, some men are incapable of leading, right? And I get it why the sisters buck. But if your man is a bona fide leader, then you need to understand what makeup is in you that don't want to follow this man. And when it comes to relationships, it's more than just you, right? I have a wife, I have a son, I have a household to maintain, right? If I am out of order, then the whole house is out of order.
Yep.
Right? And I need a woman that's going to look me in the face and say, listen, it is not my job to lead, but right now, you screwing up. You screwing up. And I need you to get back in line, because we got a place and a goal that we need to go. And you're not fulfilling what you need to do as the man of the household. But society has convinced this modern woman, if I make 6 figures, if I'm on Instagram, if I got a BBL, if I got my chest fixed, and everybody like me, then that qualifies you to lead. No, ma'am, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Let's get to the next clip.
I dare you to text that man right now and ask him for $50 to go get your lashes done. And if he say no, baby, cut him off. Cut him off.
Now, I played that. We're going to get to the next clip. I played that one because I just wanted to show one thing. Women or you see modern women today basing cutting off a man, like you said, could be a good man for something as simple as he ain't paid for her lashes. Something that's subjective to her. Hold up. Hold yourself. I got something else.
What's up, family? It's your homeboy Nino. Check this video out with me.
I'm just steal my whole paycheck and go get your hair done, bro.
I don't care. You better stop treating me the way you treat me. It's time for you to start.
And I only got paid $600 this week, bro.
It's time for you to start taking care of me,
bro.
Period. I don't care
Still,
what
you
could
have just asked.
If you want me to be your girlfriend,
I still was gonna give it to you, but damn, bro.
If you want me to be your
That's
girlfriend, you need to do your part. Simple. I'm not working right now, and I be needing my hair done.
What hairstyle cost $600? You spent the whole man. You bogus as hell, bro.
It don't matter. I got some knotless, some long
bro,
knotless. So what the fuck?
You know to do that shit while I was asleep, bro.
I don't care.
Bro.
You sitting here mad over what? There's not nothing to be mad about. Ain't
That's
you finna
petty
get
as
paid
hell,
again?
bro.
Ain't you finna
So
get paid?
what? And the light bill too.
Okay, we'll pay the light bill next month. We can
Man, that shit crazy. You worry about your head than the lights, bro. Like, that's all I had.
That
shit was going all on bills,
so
and you spent it on your
that
hair,
mean
bro.
you need to go get another
No, that
job.
mean your way need to go get a job.
I'm not going to get no job, but you know that. But
Damn.
you wanted me to have the baby, and I told you what the fuck it was going to be. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, and we're going to have to take care of us.
No.
That's what you have to do.
No, we're finna pull back up, and she finna undo that shit.
You got to pay her to undo
No,
it.
I'm paying nothing, bro. Tell your mama something. I need my bread back. Don't let her tweaking, bro.
You're my man.
Now the lights finna be out because you want your head done.
Okay, so you mad about that? You're mad because the lights gonna be off?
Now you finna be cute in the dark.
We have
you finna
candles.
be cute in the dark.
We got candles, and daylight will be here quick. So
I'm
it don't
done
matter.
with your ass, bro.
You can
Your
be
ass
done.
too
I
much,
don't give
bro.
a fuck.
Look, that's enough of that one. I got one more. Let me see how long that video clip is. The next one. All right, we're gonna play one more because it's all in the same theme of stuff. One more again.
Oh, baby, I got something to show you. My credit card say 300,000 charge.
You added me as an authorized user, so that's my credit card now, right?
This might be a skit.
300,000 is charged. What is like?
I wanted to get myself an early wedding gift because we about to get married, so I was
You
like,
know that's stealing. We're not married. Like you can't just.
We've been living with each other for over like what, 3 years now. Come on.
It don't matter. Like what made you think that you can charge my card?
You'll get over it when you see
300,000.
Close your eyes.
I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not closing my eyes. I can see it right here. You bought a car.
I ordered it.
You ordered it.
Yeah, baby. Why are you so mad? Don't you want to drive? Take me on a ride. No, we can go on our date night in this car.
You got SUV right there.
I got it right there. Look, that's not the point. The point of the matter is what you complain for. We're gonna keep both of them. Why are you tripping? You added me as an authorized user so I can use it.
And listen, I put those clips up, right? All 3 of those clips that I put those up on purpose, right? About if he don't give you no money for your nails or hair or whatever, then leave him. The chick taking the dude whole paycheck while he was sleeping, bills ain't paid, but she got her hair done. All of these women had the same thing in common. They did the thing that they want to do instead of taking care of the responsibilities, which is part of being a man, right? Where we have that burden on.
Brother, let me bust the nation's head with something right quick, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna go biblical on y'all, and I don't mean to do this, right? So in the book of Genesis, right? As soon as Adam saw Eve, few verses later, what did God say? Anybody know?
After he saw Eve?
After he saw Eve.
Ain't this the go ahead.
Anybody know I'm going to help you out. God said, you a helpmate. Get in that garden with Adam and get to work. ain't nothing in there about Adam was supposed to take care of you while you sitting on a bed of leaves eating bonbons, right? We don't see nothing about a man taking care of a woman until the New Testament. And you got to understand that that's after the fall. The relationship between God, man, and woman is all screwed up because of sin. It is a woman's job to be a helpmeet. It is much her job to support the family as it is a man's. Simple and plain. You don't get to stay at home and do what you want to do and eat bonbons. Watch Netflix, right? You got to get your behind out and work just like that man got to get his behind out and work. Now, when Paul comes along, Paul talks about how the man is supposed to take care of a woman, but you got to understand that in context. During those times, a woman had no status. She was equivalent to livestock, slaves, and as of a child. She wasn't allowed to have a voice. She wasn't allowed to do anything. So she had no value. So it was up to the man to take care of her. But that was not the original order. You got to work just like the man got to work. Ain't nobody responsibility just to take care of you. I know what the Bible say, to have and to hold, but that is based off of a misconception of what the original order is. You got to work just like that man got to work. Simple and plain. You got to toe the ground just like the man got to toe the ground.
So you bring up a good point, and particularly and especially I think it gets forgotten in the Black community that both the man and the woman work, especially after, post-slavery, right? Like God, some of them were still working, sharecropping in the fields, but you had a lot of women that were still working in people's houses, still nannying, still nursing,
right.
And the dudes without working. Both people were working in our community, and we forgot that. We just totally forgotten that. But I got to play the next clip. Because you got a bunch of women now who are, especially in places like LA and stuff like that, they lonely, bro. They lonely.
I need to talk to y'all about something. I recently went to an event and there were about 1,000 people there. And of the couples that were there, about 95% of them were Black men with non-Black women. The person leading the event was a Black man that was married to a white woman. I'd be lying if I said that seeing all of this at the same time was not triggering. This is pretty much what the dating scene looks like overall in LA. Here are 4 other observations that I picked up on since moving to LA. 1, it's not equal. It's not like I'm seeing a bunch of Black women dating outside their race. In fact, I'm barely seeing Black women dating at all. 2, it's gotten so bad that at this point, whenever I do see a Black man that's single, the first thing that I'm asking myself is, I wonder if he dates Black women. 3, within the past couple months, I've had conversations with multiple Black women that actually want to leave LA, not because of the economy, not because they aren't flourishing in their careers, but simply because they feel like there's no love for them in LA. The fact that I know so many beautiful, talented, compassionate, evolved Black women that are all feeling the same way makes no sense to me. And lastly, when you don't see yourself reflected in a space, you feel like you don't exist. As a Black woman myself, I can tell you honestly, when it comes to the romantic space, I have never felt more invisible than I do living in LA.
All right, I'm going to get your thoughts on that in a second about this woman bringing up this one geographic region, okay? But I want to give a shout out to Chosen, man. It's been a while, bro. How you doing, Chosen? I know you be out there doing your thing, bro. It's so great to see you. And Chosen, Lucis was here last week, man. It was great. That's why I left him down on the banner there, man. Lucis dropped a $50 holla, but thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, TSG cooking as usual. My schedule worked out and I finally caught a live stream. Great to see you. He also said it's poetry to see the same sisters who don't appreciate brothers now feeling jealous. Keep that in mind, Chosen. Bro, keep that in mind. I got another clip coming up that's going to talk about that. All right? Randolph says, black women want to lead a black man. Brothers not going for that. No, it's not. It's not. It don't even feel natural to be like, I'm gonna let her lead me around. I'm gonna let her lead me. I'm gonna let her lead me to the water. And then Dre's Gaming, thank you for being here. He talked about that last woman in the last clip, talking about she crazy. What the F? And then our boss says, young man, you need to run and run fast away once you allow someone with this morality in your life. Talking about one of the two women that's using the money. I think particularly the one who used all their money, right? That's messed up, right? And then let's see. Randolph says toxicity accepted in society is my belief that is by design. Soon as she get her hair done, she gonna flirt with other men. Oh, that's a good one. And then Press says the more the merrier, the lesser the worthless freeloader, Jezebel baggage, crumb snatchers, and funky BBL fish cabbage pies. Preston, thank you. That was a mouthful, brother. Yeah.
Let me say this,
No
brothers
doubt,
and sisters.
TG. Hold on 1 second. No doubt, TG. The house for the hours be crazy. I got to be out here. Yep. Into Deep says, hit that like button. Please do that. And then last one. In all honest, seriousness, TSG, these people don't know by now that they're the ones who literally said that they don't need a man. They still complaining about how nobody wants them. All right. Cuddy, what's your thoughts?
Exactly. That sentiment right there, combined with brothers, to thine own self be true. You cannot effectively lead a woman, fiance, wife, whatever you want to call it, if you don't know who you are. Right?
Ooh. Yes.
So let's start there. Brothers, I put the burden on you in the sense that if you don't know who you are and you don't have yourself together, then you don't need to be in a relationship with anybody. You need to make sure that you know who you are. Because when you know who you are, a woman can't accept.
You're not going to accept the. Yep.
Yeah. Women will automatically bow down to a king that knows who he is. Simple and plain.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And not really to go streetwise, but I knew a few pimps in my era. And I hate to say that word because that's what they were. But whenever women were around them, it was just something about them that made them bow down. Whether they were corporate women, whether they were street women, whether they, whatever they were in life. When they got around these dudes, they would just seem to acquiesce to them, right? And I asked them, I was like, I started watching, what is it about these guys that undeniably women would just fall at their feet no matter what their situation was?
I'm gonna take a guess. Can I take a stab at it?
Stab at it.
All right, this is my theory on it. The reason is not only because of the way those dudes carried themselves, but more importantly, they didn't put that much stock in the women in the first place. They was like, they was doing their thing. They wasn't
Exactly.
So
in
because
that moment,
they weren't drooling over them women or nothing like that.
Exactly. And the female ego cannot handle that. Newsflash. Let me put you on game, right? Now my younger brother is much taller, much buff than I am, right? But we both can walk into a club. Now I'm married, so I'm not saying that I'm gonna do this. I'm just past experience. The prettiest women, two women can walk into the same bar. If we both ignore them, guess what's gonna happen? Their egos can't take it. Yep. They're gonna wonder why these two cats ignoring me while everybody is paying me attention. And they're naturally drawn to that. Right?
Yep.
Right? And that's what just about any woman on the planet. Because women designed to be adored and worshiped. And when you don't operate in that frame, they're naturally drawn to that. That's game.
Yep.
Put it in your hat, mark on it.
When
I was in college,
matter of fact, I want to see them. I want to see them fish in them shoes. Okay. I want to see.
Exactly.
Our boss said, Cuddy be dropping some low key old school gems like a real G. That's my older middle brother, bro. That's my older middle brother.
It ain't old school. It's the nature of women, and when you understand the nature of a woman, it is what it is. Listen, I was in college. I wasn't the biggest cat. I was always short and skinny, simple and plain. Football players' girlfriends, guess what? They were coming to my place. Why? Because I ignored them. I didn't pay them no attention. What is it about this guy? What is it about him that's going to ignore me? It's simple, but it's a game at the same time. And now you know. But when you get older and it's time to build a family, it's not about those type of games. It's about finding somebody that is compatible with you, that you can build a legacy with. Simple and plain, right? Yeah. When you get older, it's time to put away childish things.
Childish things, yeah. Time to put them away.
Right. So when the children come, then it's your job to grow those children up to make sure that they maintain the legacy that you taught them. And it's simple and it takes a woman who is knowledgeable enough to nurture the family to be able to do that.
Right. So Cuddy, before we get too deep into that, I want to show y'all gents something. I have 2 clips I want to play back to back. Now, we just talked about the women in LA not being able to find men, right? I know you didn't see the Pop the Balloon shows, right? I have 2 clips from Pop the Balloon shows that's going to show that, going to prove a point that I've made multiple times on this channel, bro, that it was never, women cannot pick men. It was like men used to vet men for women, right? Men, the brothers, the father, the uncles, like used to vet men for women. Check this out. This is the first dude right here.
And why'd you end up popping his balloon?
It was just like this fashion for me. Like, it's a nice outfit, but it's not really like what I go for typically.
What do you go for?
Just like not the bow tie. Like, it's just, like, I don't know.
Hold up. Let me stop this real quick. I'm gonna play it. I'm not trying to talk. I don't think that suit looked too bad. I'm not a bow tie type of dude, but the shoes was on point. The dude clean. Not good enough. Let's continue to listen.
It's a little like, I don't know, like a little bit extra.
It's too extra.
Yeah, like you're not going to like an event.
Okay. I want y'all to keep this in mind as we continue to listen. She said, you're not going to an event. This exchange here, I put this clip in tonight's live stream because when I heard the rest of it, the dude's logic was on point. Listen to this exchange. It is crazy. He got a clean haircut. He in a clean outfit, right? Don't women say dudes are bums or they sassy, whatever? This dude is holding himself up. From what I can tell, like a man. Check this out.
So it's like, I don't know.
Well, the memo I got said dress like you going on a first date. It's something I would wear on a first date.
Where would you go where would you take me on a first date?
Well, we go to like an upscale restaurant,
like where? What restaurant?
I don't know. It could be like any type of upscale steakhouse or something.
Okay, and that's what you would wear?
Oh, I would definitely wear a suit.
Hold up, bro. This is what they said they wanted. They said dudes wasn't taking them to steakhouse. They weren't taking them to Sizzler. They weren't taking them to Ruth's Chris. They're not taking them. His brother said, I'm dressed like it said, like I was going to take you on a first date. So this dude did exactly what they asked. Check this out. Now he about to catch her. Check this out.
Actually, most of them have dress codes where you can't wear.
Okay.
You can't. You never been to an upscale?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wear jeans, but like,
okay.
I don't know. I just, yeah.
Well, I definitely wear a suit. Maybe not this color per se, but I definitely would wear a suit to an upscale restaurant, or maybe going up just any type of
But I probably honestly would have popped anyway because like the voice.
Oh my God!
So Kevin Samuels, bro, always talked about sign language. So because he said what she said, she probably felt embarrassed and felt the need to cut this dude. Oh, now it's your voice. You see how crazy this is? Let's finish it out. I want to hear your thoughts.
Like your voice is like, I don't know. I don't think I could. Yeah. Sorry, but like, yeah. Yeah.
Again, not again, James.
Have the capacity.
Well, she
again.
Well, she's probably just repeating what she heard on the something else because she said she heard him saw him on a previous episode.
Were y'all on the same one?
You know.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna do it. She just repeating it, but it's cool though.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, that dude held himself right. Let me get your
Listen.
Keep a quick thought because I got another video I gotta play. Keep it quick.
All right. This is a modern version of casting pearls onto a swine. Right?
Oh, damn.
And I hate to put it that way, but the young lady is not knowledgeable enough to know the proper etiquette when going to an upscale restaurant. She has a Moet budget and Schlitz malt liquor taste.
You say that Schlitz malt liquor?
Schlitz malt liquor, Colt 45, Billy D. Williams, right?
45.
She is not educated to know that there's a certain expectation of you to enter these type of restaurants.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, and she clearly does not know, right? And we have far too many of our women who want that, but they're not educated. Okay, do you know what an escargot fork is? Do you know why the table is set the way it's set? You haven't taken the etiquette class, right?
Right.
But you want all these things. And I think to a certain point, we're deceiving ourselves to where we're so uneducated as far as our women are concerned that we want the higher and finer things of life, but you don't know how to behave in those type of settings.
Yeah. Chosen says she got Rolls Royce expectations, but her dating credit only qualifies for a rusty bicycle.
Exactly. Facts.
And then Matrix been like, bring Shane back. Shane been here. Yeah.
Right. And then also, she don't take care of herself. Did you see her body?
That's, Chosen wrote that. She overweight anyway.
Exactly.
Our boss said, dude dressed like he auditioning for church Sunday and still got canned. You know what?
Right.
I want to keep, hold up. And then mine says, tit for tat Dusty. Yep. And then Press says, Cuddy got them troop bombs. Yep. And then, I missed another one. Super Seamster Sewing Show, Bakersfield, California. Okay, I hear you. Shout out to Bakersfield out there. Foreign women are best value. Been to Rio 3 times in 5 months. It got me. My dude was in
another
Brazil.
can of worms, brother. Another can of worms.
Yeah, we better leave that alone. All right, here, I got another one. Check this out.
Your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm 31. I popped my balloon because you are very attractive. But this sounds very weird. And don't judge because you're giving it already. I like my man a little, like a splash of ugly. I think you're like a really pretty boy, which is good, but it's just not my type. That's it. That's a compliment though. Like you look really good, but I like my man a little more grungy, maybe. You're very polished.
Okay.
But don't take it bad at all. You look good.
Hey, don't get offended. Don't get offended. You look too pretty. Listen, man. I'm gonna let this play out. But the reason I'm stopping it right now is because how many gents, y'all been watching my videos. How many of these videos y'all done seen where the dude had like a grungy look? Like the one chick told the dude, like, oh, your retwist is crazy. Or the other dude, like you can't win. Let me finish. Let's finish to see what else got to be said. This is insane, bro.
So is she someone that's your type?
No.
Okay, then why not?
Just because you don't look like you work out, to be honest. That's I forgot to say it, but that is one of my deal breakers.
That's
I want
savage.
somebody who lives a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
I used to be a personal trainer, so that's big for me. Like, even if you're not in the gym, I need you eating right or something, or you know what I mean? And I feel like that's not we're not on the same frequency with that.
Totally fine, but I work out 5 times a week and I'm vegan. But I get it. You looking
Oh,
for a certain type. So.
okay, all right. All right.
We both looking for something.
Well, if we going on first impressions and for all intents and purposes of the show,
That's just what
that's what I would see, right?
Okay.
So
Hey, bro, it's something you said earlier. Let me get back to this young brother right here. Let me get back to this young brother right here. Something you said earlier that I think we both were trying to express, but it's like when you were looking for somebody, you have to be secure and know what you are. Like this is what we talk about, having a purpose all the time. And this dude knew right off the bat. He knew what he wanted. He's like, look, I worked out. I want somebody that's fit too, that's going to be in the gym, right? Like that's the kind of level of knowledge you need to have of yourself to say, hey, this is my deal breaker. And not try to be rude, but stand on like, hey, this is my deal breaker, because if not, it might be cool now, but later on, if you're not on that same path that I am, if we ain't on the same page, if our stuff ain't here, okay? If our stuff ain't here, it ain't gonna work. Thoughts?
Right. Okay.
Wait. King said a lot of thick vegans these days.
Hey, we gonna get a sister Grace and say she just started being a vegan.
His comeback cut her inside.
And we gonna get our sister a pass. She might have just started her vegan journey. You know what I mean?
They always just start.
That's true. That's true. But listen, we gotta learn to give each other grace, right? We gotta learn to give each other grace with certain things, right? So, you know, I've always been slim and trim, right? You know what I mean? And, you know, your sister-in-law is a dietitian. She get up, 4:45 every day and work out, right? Yep. She's 2 years older than me, and she don't look her age. Simple and plain, right?
Yep.
Listen, I was born premature, 1 pound, 15 ounces. You're looking at a miracle. I ain't supposed to be here. So I'm not swole, right? Now, you know what I do? I can get you up off me, real talk, and give you some hot pockets in the process. But, you know what I mean? I'm not going to the gym and trying to live 250, right? I'm going to stay slim and trim because I know what my body type is, right? So we got to learn not to be so superficial in things, right? If a woman or a man is good to you and they're taking care of themselves, then you need to give them grace for that. But if you know you push the 250, 350, you don't work out, your diet is tired, you have no business then trying to body shame somebody on a pop the balloon challenge, because you know from jump that ain't your lifestyle, right? Right? So you're saying you need somebody that's ugly because you know you haven't dedicated enough to yourself to change yourself. So you want a man that's going to accept you for who you are, and that's fine. But at least be truthful about it and don't get on pop the balloon and, try to slide under the radar, because that ain't happening.
So King says, grace starts with knowing when to be silent.
Exactly.
President says, vegan my ass. The only thing that vegetables she definitely eating are the Pookie-licious carousel and the eggplant felons and the Tyronians hell. Oh my God, Preston.
Boy, y'all rough tonight. Y'all rough tonight.
Yeah. Chosen says she wouldn't pick the dude if he was fat though. Look.
That's true.
Listen, let me just say this, right? So, bro, I'm about to reveal something. You said something about whatever, like, I'm 280 pounds right now, bro.
Right, but you work out every day, though. For the most
Yeah,
part.
but I'm going in the wrong direction.
I got
Like
you.
I don't want like at this age I shouldn't be going that way, right? Sorry. At this age I shouldn't be going up on the scale. As you get older, you need to kind of go down. Still work out, but like be a little
Right.
bit on the slimmer side. So I'll
Right.
be honest with y'all. I am struggling with that. I'm at the gym every day, or at least 3 to 4 times a week. So
Right.
that part is true.
Right.
And my ego says, hey, I love being this size because I was always a skinny dude. But here's the thing. I'm realistic where I'm at, right?
Exactly.
At least I'm making the attempt. I've been consistent in the gym for like 5 years straight, but really over 20 plus years, my whole adult life, right? So
But get this.
I don't think his answer was wrong to her. But
Right.
I will say is, look, matter of fact, there's our boss said it best. Our boss, here you go. He said, at least his criticism is valid and factual. What the F was hers even based on? And ain't that part of the problem right now? Right? Meeting
True.
these requirements that people can't even meet because they don't know
Right.
what the standard is.
Right. But you're not body shaming anybody. And the problem I have with these women that come on pop the balloon, you're holding somebody to an expectation and a standard that you yourself don't uphold. Right? If my wife would have told me before we got married that I need somebody, 6'9" that work out every day and and can lift, 400 pounds, then guess what? I would have told her to kick rocks.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because that's not who I am. But if you want somebody that's gonna try to do his best to take care of you and maintain the family, then I'm your man. Right? I'm gonna get out here and get it. And I'm gonna work out.
Black women are the group of
But I'm not trying to lift no 400 pounds.
Right. And that's being realistic. But that's kind of one of those things. Don't you think that's one of those things that need to be kind of discussed before things get real serious anyway?
Exactly. And Steve Harvey said it best in his book. Why are you trying to hold somebody to a standard that you yourself will not be able to uphold? You want somebody making $100 million, but you don't have the financial background to sustain that $100 million if somebody passes away.
Well, I mean, think about it. Think about the women we just saw earlier there, bro. Where both of them mismanaged the money while the dude's sitting there alive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
if we think about old school marriages, not to cut you off, if we think about old school marriages, right? When these families in Europe did these alliances, right? They compiled resources to maintain a legacy for centuries, right? The Rothschilds are not trillionaires because they just chose to target haphazard marriages. There were strategic marriages, and the women that married into the family also had the ability to make more money and maintain a legacy. They just wasn't spreading their legs to have children, right? They didn't have big boobs and a fat behind. They also had a brain to go with it, right? They also didn't have a oral sex game to go on Instagram and say you got great top, right? These women are educated, and if the husband dies, they're able to go into the banking system and make more money.
Yep. Mon says, she said, don't judge yet. She's trying to judge and thinks we're not going to judge back. Make that make sense. Poke people, better not cry when you get poked back. Absolutely. And then Preston says that she's definitely operating off her emotions and can't handle the fact that she's capping and hiding her insecurities. I kind of thought that too, Preston. That's funny you said that. When he said something back, that she had to snap back because he hit her in the feels. Matrix says Black women don't know what they want and complain that they can't have and cannot keep because they can't have enough. All right. And then of course, Dre's Gaming. Thank you very much for that. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We dropping some gems tonight. Matter of fact, on that, let's get to this next clip real quick, man. Because we all got a schedule to keep tonight. But let's check this out real quick.
Black women are the group of women failing the most out of all other women, but are the first group of women where if you even think about making a suggestion to them, if you even think about correcting a Black woman in any way, the response is always, why do you care? Why is it your business? Why are you worried about it? It seems like the more they fail, the more you can't tell them anything. And, every time you're on TikTok and you see a sister doing a think piece about how we're the victim and everyone should feel bad for us, just block them. No one is doing anything to us. We're doing this to ourselves, okay? It's a joke at this point. I don't even see how there's an end to it. The only thing that will save Black women right now is tribalism. You are going to have to find a tribe and stick to that, because as the collective, this is not working out and it is not looking good. The baby mama epidemic is the real pandemic for Black women at this point. I wish there was a vaccine for it. The vaccine would be maybe common sense.
The vaccine would basically make her legs stay closed. I'm just playing Jeebus.
Message.
Yo.
Let me say this. This. There's this pervasive attitude that Black women are like on a decline. Let me tell you something. As far as research is concerned, the Black woman has done well in America. As far as her ability to make more money than the Black man collectively as a whole, which is by design, because she's a double minority.
Hey, that's not true. Bro, that's not true. That is statistically not true.
Okay.
That right there, that narrative. Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that ain't true.
No problem.
I'm gonna show you. I want to show you.
Okay.
I want to sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna find this real quick, but I do want to tell you.
No problem.
I agree with something you said. They have done really well, or at least the ones who are upwardly mobile are doing really well. And you made that sentiment earlier. As I've stated multiple times on this channel, I'm not a hater on this. I'm not a hater of anyone doing what they need to do. Right? Not even Black women. I'm gonna show you something real quick.
Right.
Make sure I get these demographics. Get these. Hold up. Let me get these statistics. Let me get these statistics and researches here now. No, that's occupational sector. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, let's go income. All right. Hold on. Let's get the income. Okay. Where is this at? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna bring this up on the screen real quick. We gotta disparage that. I agree with you that there are Black women out there that are crushing it. Absolutely. And I never want to take away from that. But it's still, Black men are still making more than Black women. And here's the statistics to prove it. Okay, this is from blackdemographics.com, right? All this stuff comes from labor statistics, right? So when you look at less than a high school degree, less than a high school diploma, Black men make more. When it comes to high school graduates, Black men still make more. Some college and no degree, Black men still make more. Associate's degree, right? You go up to bachelor's and advanced degrees, okay? Now, yes, Black men and Black women make less than our counterparts, but this narrative that Black women make more money than Black men is not true. That is, and then when you start breaking it down, right? But this is a new one. They added this one. This is brand new. Black millennial.
Lay it
Wow,
on me.
they didn't added a whole bunch more. But this is a good point right here, though, right?
Right.
So we've gotten away from marriage. Women are more worried about, hey, well, I don't want to do no 50-50. He got to do it all and this, but I want to have my money, and then his money is my money, and my money is my money. And the thing is, with that mindset, we collectively cannot build generational wealth together. How are we going to do that when you got women out here doing this thing over here? Like the woman spent $300,000 on a credit card and bought a car that they didn't need. You know what I mean?
I got you. I got you. Well, I stand corrected, and real men, admit when they are not up to date on the current info. Thank you for informing me of that.
No. But here's the thing,
Wherein
bro.
lies
That's
the
not.
problem.
I'm not gonna put that on you, because the problem right now is that there's a narrative that's out there that you have people putting out these think pieces that say that stuff, but it's not backed up by the labor statistics stuff. And this is what's I suggest, if y'all want to see more of that, Medium Man, his channel breaks down those type of statistics way better than I can, in way more detail, right? With the studies and everything.
Yeah.
Even to the point that
thank you
have
for pointing that out.
this narrative that black women are starting more businesses or have more businesses than black men. That has been debunked.
Right.
So it's not true.
Yeah.
So so that just is not to knock what they're doing, but it's this
right.
It comes at the expense of, right now you had this last video, bro, that came out that said that, hey, black men aren't going to college, and I plan to talk about
that's
that.
definitely not true.
Right. But
definitely not
here's
true.
Look, the thing is, the difference between the amount of black men and black women in terms of the difference in going to college or not is negligible, because you still have black men who are in trade schools, and that trade school enrollment went up. This is what I talk about. 2008, when they had the economic crash, they told us that our degrees was going to mean something. And what happened was, when people with degrees couldn't find jobs, a lot of men said, well, forget this. I'm going to enroll in a trade school and get me a trade, something I can use. So you saw your trade school enrollment went up. But guess what? You got a trade school diploma. That ain't good enough for these women. They don't want to do blue collar.
Right. So guess what? Here's a new caveat, and you can research this one. Now, because you have a lot of African American kids who are graduating with honors, graduating top of their class with high GPAs, now they've switched to, how many community service hours do you have? Right?
Yeah.
It's a book that was written a while back called Who Moved My Cheese, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you broke up for a second.
Right. So now at 11, your nephew, at 11 years old, your nephew is accumulating community service hours in order to meet the criteria to be able to apply for college, because he's already in honors classes.
So they moved the goalposts.
So let that sink in.
No, they moved the goalposts.
They moved the goalposts. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So now it's community service hours. Are you kidding me?
Right? So here's the thing. I was in honors classes. How would I be able to do all that stuff, keep up with all the projects? And I was in sports, which my nephew's in sports right now and all bunch of stuff. How do you do all that?
Exactly.
What has that got to do with anything? Sound like they're moving that goalpost. Because how do you
exactly? That's exactly what it is.
How do those kids be kids at the same time?
Exactly. And what does community service hours have to do with you being productive member of society.
Well, if
It
you're
doesn't.
giving back to the community,
Listen,
the community.
listen. Frank Lucas gave out turkeys every Thanksgiving to the community.
Oh, damn. That's how you gonna break out Frank Lucas? Oh.
Pablo Escobar did the same thing, right?
Yep. And
So
yeah.
they were still public enemy number one after a certain amount of time, right? Yeah.
That's fair enough.
That
Can't
part.
argue that one.
Right, that part.
So listen, before it get too late, I want to drop, because I know it's late over there, bro. I got one last clip. This is the clip, gents, that I promised to you all that I had somewhere. I found it and I saved it just for tonight's live stream. Okay. This is, I believe, this is a young woman in Zambia, right? And the community gathered to send her home because she was dressed inappropriately. Yes. Let's get to it.
What is supposed to dress like this? Look at yourself.
Yo, they sent her back home, son. They were straight capping. So I had told the gents, I said, yo, I have a video clip where the community shamed this woman and shamed her ass back home to go change clothes or do what she got to do. What are your thoughts?
Hey, I would put it to you like this, right? You remember back in the day, you used to go into church, and if your skirt was too short, and even the men, if your pants was too tight, where your body part print was showing, they would put an apron over your lap, right? It's the same thing. We have gotten to the point where we have no self-respect with anything, right? Women have gone so far to the point of, it's my body. If I want to show print, I can show print, right? No matter who's watching, right? No different than me walking in Walmart with my son, who's a minor, and you walk past him with no bra on and your nipples showing, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a form of respect that needs to go with that, right? Your actions affect others. We can't just do what we want to do in life because we think that we can. Yeah. There are rules to life, right? As adults, we still have to follow rules. And as a woman or a man, it is improper for you to just go out looking any kind of way. Now, if you go into one of them freaky parties or whatever, and that's what they do, then so be it. But on your way to that party, if you passing up children, right, innocent children and innocent people, you need to cover up. It's simple and plain. Simple and plain. Don't nobody want to see that, right? I shouldn't have to explain to a minor why you got your body parts out. Right? Cover up until you get to your freaky party, then you can let loose, because everybody look the same way. But until then, you need to cover up. Simple and plain. I don't know why we've gotten to a point in this society where we think that we can just do what we want to do and nobody can tell us nothing. That's an unrealistic view.
It is. Let me catch a couple of these comments. Ma says they were going to have any of that strong, independent woman BS there. No, they weren't having that. Women are lying about what is and what isn't their hair. Can't expect them to take accountability for anything else. They're interested in being the loudest. Shout out to you. Donald says late for the program, fam. Not a problem. No appreciation for our women. What's that again? No. We got appreciation, but they need to have some appreciation for themselves. This is what we're talking about, bringing back some level of shame. While makeup will be useless and women will be out of a job, but the mechanic job is not useless. It's going to keep going. Yeah, you're always going to need that. Let me catch a couple different comments real quick. At times people need to fight for you. If they don't, just move on and realize what you gave them was more than they were willing to give you. Yeah. Donald, I'm going to have to catch yours up here because you got multiple comments. Men, you got no choice but to fight. Some want to pop off of one of them things. Some hope there is not a war. Some join for a better economic outcome, better than where they came from, and have. And yes, there are many cowards in the military as well as war devils. Yep, you're gonna find all types of people. Okay, joke women will never change for the better, and they think they forever, but our patience ain't. When that breaking point comes to the hungry cryptids' belly to cure them, just like we did back in the day. Listen, one thing that I've seen, especially talking with the women in my family, and even talking to my mom about, right? And I've said this to y'all many times, but there are a lot of women that, like, they want to have a family, they want to have their own man, but the ones who go down the path of putting that stuff off, right? The longer and longer they put that stuff off, the least likely chance of them being able to pair bond effectively what they do, to be able to be that helpmeet, as my brother put it, to that man, right? The older they get, the longer they put it off. They want it, but they don't know how to do it. And that's kind of why we talk about, like, being young enough to be able to appreciate that, or not getting so set in your ways that you can't work with somebody else, right? So that's kind of the thing that we're seeing, especially with that report coming out, that almost half of women are going to be single and childless by the year 2030. That's coming up really soon. 5 years ago, it'll come sooner than y'all know. And
right.
Let me catch a couple more, and then I'm gonna get your last thoughts, and we'll get up out of here. Dude said we don't appreciate our women enough. Who said that? We was born naked. Most of us need to fake it. These women want to live in a free for all world without wanting to be called on right versus wrong and the consequences of the actions. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about. And this goes for men and women. I always say, bro, that show me a man who's not accountable, and I'm going to show you the failures in his life. I'm going to show you that he not, seriously, because we get held to a different standard. And so when a man not being accountable, it's easy to see. It's easy to see in his life. We can't fake it the same way women can, because ain't nobody giving us nothing. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody tricking off. Ain't nobody tricking for us.
Right.
Let me get your last thought. Let me get your last thoughts on tonight's topic so we can hurry and close this thing out.
Listen.
Oh,
simple
actually,
and plain.
I'm gonna do the question of the day. Real quick. Let me do the question of the day.
Go ahead.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and get your thoughts. So, question of the day: should we bring shame back to correct behaviors in society for women to change? Should this come from mainly women, men, or both? Comment below. All right, not in the chat, but take it to the comments. Okay. All right, and let's see. So, bro, what's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, definitely. It should come from both, because we need to collectively, as a society, and it's just not with African American families, but the nation as a whole. There needs to be accountability, right?
Yes.
A helpmate is supposed to support you and to become better, but a helpmate is also supposed to point out your mess and where you're supposed to check up on, right? You're not a good helpmate if you're not telling me, hey, right now, you screwing up in this area, right? Right? My job is not to just tell you when you're doing great, but my job is to tell you when you're also doing wrong, right?
Absolutely.
And any good woman behind a good man and vice versa. Like, if I got to have a conversation with my wife and be like, hey, you screwing up right now, you better believe I'm going to have that conversation with her. And I expect her to have the same conversation with me. It's called being held accountable. It's not so much to shame the other person. It's just to reveal to you that, hey, you're viewing this situation in a certain way and it's causing a problem that needs to be corrected, right? So we think shame is a bad thing, but you know, ignorance of the law is not an excuse for you not to be tried by the law, right? Just because you don't know it doesn't mean you're not going to be held accountable for it, right?
That's true. Yeah,
So as a society and as a people, all the people, not just African American people, we ought to hold each other accountable. And if shame is a part of that, then so be it. I'd rather shame you into your purpose than to damn you into not seeing you productive in society.
And listen, I think that if you are on your purpose, you welcome that criticism, especially if you're not if you messing up. Yeah, like I want you to tell me, hey man, you're messing up right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I was messing up with TSG Uncut and I was being reckless, I'm pretty certain I'd get a call from you like, yo, what are you doing on that channel right now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you need to take that down. Simple and plain.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Right. You would tell me that, right? You would tell me. And so, but we've gotten to this point, bro, that people are sensitive as hell. Like you give them constructive criticism or you tell them about themselves. Yo, what are you doing? And they get offended or they're in their feelings, bro. Right? People are in their feelings when you try to tell them right.
Way too much. So I'm gonna use this example, right? Every year, I have to go before a board of people and do a performance review, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of how I feel, whatever they say on that performance review is my job to either agree with it or not agree with it. But at the end of the day, that's their review. That's what they see. Whether I agree with it or not, right? And it's the same thing with life. Your life, newsflash, people, your life one day is going to have a review, whether you wanted to or not, right? And throughout your life, somebody's going to chin check you and say, hey, you screwing up or you doing a good job. And if you don't have nobody in your life that's able to do that for you, you need to find somebody because you're living a delusional life. Simple and plain. Right? Right? I'm 52. I ain't afraid to say it. Right? But I expect my younger brother to right, exactly. Blue the dust off it. Old as hell. Right?
I say that
right?
on the heels of my own birthday coming up.
Exactly. But you know what? I expect you to call me and say, you my older brother. I don't give a damn about that. You screwing up. From what you told me, you are not handling your obligations as a man, and I need you to fix it. Right? And as a man, I need to be man enough to say, you are right. But women, you know what? You need to have somebody in your life that do that too.
So and again, not to try to keep this any longer, there was a woman on one of these videos that said that she didn't know. It was on a recent video I did. Basically, she tried to let me find it real quick. But she tried to nope, not the therapist one. Nope, not that one. Let me see if I can find that clip. There was literally a clip, and the woman thought she was dropping some bombs, like, "Oh, men don't hold each other accountable." And I'm like, what is she talking about? Because real dudes hold each other accountable, like
all day,
right? If your boy, your real boy, he gonna hold you accountable. He gonna let you know.
Exactly.
Hold up.
Exactly.
Where is that clip? Where is that clip, Sean? Oh, it was in one of my most recent videos. Let me see. Oh, I think this is it right here. I think I found it. Hold up, right here. I'm gonna play this clip. Check this out.
When you go outside and you deal with your homeboys and stuff like that, the reason why it's so fun and enjoyable to you is because they're not asking follow-up questions. They're not saying, hey, bro, are you good? Like, let's talk about it. Like, let's dissect this. Like, they're not doing that. So, of course, that's more fun to you because you don't have to actually deal with any of the stuff that you are struggling with. You're running. You're a runner. You're a track star. That's what you're doing.
She thought she was cooking. I don't have to play anymore. I think you get where she was going with that. The point is, and Jess, this is what I always talk about. We always talk about being on your purpose here. We always talk about, being accountable. And part of that accountability is she talking about like, yeah, okay, you might go out and you're having a good time, but you can still be with your boys and have a good time, and they still be dudes that hold you accountable, if that even makes sense. You know what I mean? Your real dudes gonna hold you. Y'all have a standard within you, and y'all gonna hold each other to that standard. But because I believe that maybe she been hurt in the past, somebody, the dudes that she might mess with, or the type of dudes that you might like, might not have their stuff together. You putting that on all dudes. Real dudes don't even operate that way. And
right? Can I be honest with you? Right, I'm gonna be transparent and vulnerable right now. Right, I got a partner. Right, that I go to the local wing house and eat wings with and stuff like that. Right, little bit, maybe 2 years, 3 years younger than me, but he's still reliving his college days. Right, multiple partners. Ladies man, he got the silvery tongue. He know what he says, but I had an honest conversation with him, right? I stepped to him. I'm like, listen, I'm your man, 100 grand. I'm always keep it real with you, right? How long will you continue to live this type of lifestyle, right? And some of the women that you deal with, right? He has been ran up on by multiple guys, right? Not blaming him, but having a conversation with him because he's dealing with the female that this guy's taking care of the female's kids, right? I posed a question to him. I said, how long before one of these guys run up in your house or catch you at the bar and blow your brains out over a female? Right?
Ooh.
Right? I said, as your friend and as your brother, I don't want that for you. So I need you to take an inventory of your life and begin to make some changes. Right?
And the dude about 49, 50, huh?
Yeah. Not. I mean, hey, he's Shannon Sharp without the money. You know what I mean? He makes a pretty good living, but he's Shannon Sharp, right? And I've seen it with my own eyes. We can sit at the bar and eat wings, blah, 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 blah. Little 20-year-olds come by. I mean, they checking for him. He is a ladies' man. And, hate to blow some cat's bubble on this live call, but they are some men that women just attracted to. Get over it. Right?
Yeah.
There's some guys that just got it like that. They straight kings. A woman just melts in their presence, and they look for that.
Now would you judge him more harshly if is it the caliber of women that he in the space with, or is that the thing that you telling him, or is just the fact that he ain't settled down? Because some dudes ain't about marriage no more.
Right. So my advice to him was, you're grown. Whatever you choose in life, you have to bear the responsibility for. I'm not telling you to get married, but what I'm telling you is there are a lot of single women that would rather be with you, and you can have a relationship with them than to be in a relationship with somebody that could potentially get you killed.
I got you. So some of the choices he making in terms of the women he allowed in his life is reckless.
It's reckless, but it's reckless on both points. See, a lot of times we want to blame the man.
Yeah.
But we won't hold the female accountable for her ego.
Okay.
Because the person that she's dealing with hurt her. So hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people. That's right.
So
That's right.
she's gonna continue to hurt because she's hurting. And it just adds to more hurt. So now this brother's upset because he's trying to heal from the relationship and do right by her, even though he hurt her. And ironically, I don't get it, but the man wants to hurt the other man instead of dealing with the female where the issue is.
Right, like that. Hey, that's a dude. That's just another dude. You have to assume all dudes
are
operating. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I got you.
So now you want to blow his brains out because he's just being a man. Right. Let's be real.
When she has the power to turn that man away. Exactly.
Yep. Exactly. And vice versa. We see it with women too, right?
Yeah.
You want to go stab and slice up the other woman, and I hate to be graphic, because you know that this man is providing a spot for this woman, and that's the spot that you want to provide.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that goes back to shame. Yeah, both should be shamed, and that's why I approached him. I'm like, yeah, you should feel shame about this. I'm your dog. I'm your brother. I'm your dog. Yeah, you should be shamed about this because this is a situation that you don't really have to be in. But we're selfish. We're selfish. That's what it boils down to. Male ego, female ego. We're selfish. We want our cake and eat it too.
Let me catch a couple of these comments and we get up out of here. The only reason that those women want to be with you is to use you. Person also says, and that is exactly why I'm single, so I don't have to deal with the horse-ish infested malarkey. All I saw is a Looney Tunes turkey and cauldron and trying to bake himself. That's what I saw in her. How many men in prison over a female, directly, indirectly? That's a great point, Donald. There's a lot of dudes in prison over a girl, or even having to do with, indirectly have to do with a woman, right? Plus, the only thing she is cooking with is no charcoal or lighter fluid. She definitely short on matches. Oh my gosh! All right. Anyway, y'all. Yeah, Preston always got the dope rhymes. Hey, brother, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the live stream tonight. Gents, we will be back on Friday. I should have a video out by Friday for you all. Thank you to the everybody who thank you to everybody who contributed tonight. The sponsors of tonight's video, Chosen, the Condemned Man, of course, my brother right here. Thank you very much for that. Right, and Lucis last week for the $50 holla. All right, so gents, I can't wait to see y'all soon. Let me get this one last comment. Marriage is scary and risky. Why bother dealing with it? We'll address that in another issue, but we got to get up out here. All right, brother, stay on the line as we get up out here. All right, gents, until next time, live your best life.